especially when he knows I'm pissed. Oh, it is the best.
He knows how to push your buttons.
Oh, when he knows I'm pissed, I don't yell, I don't scream. Just get the eyes.
This is gonna hurt. It's time for the Suffering Podcast.
You wipe your own or your son's?
Both.
I have to, you know.
Well, you got to get Lenore into the whole, thing.
No, it is. I call it the absolute number one dad task. I am there every time when it goes. When that occurs, I am
Dad?
the greatest father on the planet, and I remind him of that every time. I said, I am the greatest father on the planet, the greatest one.
Has Derek ever stood up and looked at himself in the mirror and just not what's that? What's like that's that self-aware stuff that you kind of hope. I guess you hope it doesn't happen.
What do you mean?
He's a man.
Yeah.
So he's got hair everywhere and that stuff. And did one day he just wake up and like ask you what that is, or it's just something that he just accepted?
It's just something no, he never ever did anything like that.
Yeah.
He just just accepted things, you know.
Right. It's just the way his body worked out.
I mean, he knows, washes his hands and he wants to brush his teeth and, he understands all of that stuff, and goes to the bathroom at night and, but I think maybe he did. I don't know. I mean, I can't ask him and, and he can't give me an answer on any of that stuff.
I mean, imagine I try to put myself in his shoes, being 6 years old and waking up in a man's body.
Yeah.
They make movies about that stuff.
I think that it's just, he lives in the moment.
Yeah,
He goes to bed. He doesn't have any idea. I could put him to bed at 2:30 in the afternoon. He would not even know. He would just crawl into bed, and I'd put the TV on. He would lay there, and he would go to sleep. He would sleep for 8 hours and wake me up at 11 o'clock like he does all the time. And but the other thing too is the greatest. I will have that. My friend, my son, with me for as long as I'm alive. I will see his face, and he will be next to me. He won't move out. He won't be away. He will be with me. And which is great. And but there's also the thing of he's 33. I think to myself all the time is like, he's 33. I would probably be a grandfather right now, probably. Maybe he would live here or he would live over there, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's
I don't.
That's not happening.
That's not even.
It's not even a remote possibility.
Yeah, it's not even something to fantasize about because it'll just never happen in a million years.
You know what? I don't want to say like weighing the good and the bad, but you don't have to worry about him going out at night. Like when he was 18 years old, your kid goes out in the car, he gets his license for the first day. Believe me, I've done it twice already. Yeah. Your kid gets their license for, Dad, could I have the keys? You sit up going, oh, mother.
You also don't ever have that where he's going to puff up on you and be that rebellious teenager.
Oh, no, we have that.
Oh, you've had it.
Oh,
I'm starting to rethink this thing of this 6-year-old mentality.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's part of the zone that he gets into. I mean, it's like
it's not a rebellion thing, though, is it? It's more it's an aggressive thing. Yeah. And when that switch is flipped, oh boy, watch out.
Yeah,
really.
But that's what I was saying. It's like this covert defense that I have to kind of shiny object before Godzilla comes and burns my face off.
I have to do that with Mike when he gets on a rant somewhere. I'm like, Mike over here.
Shiny
but
object.
It's really weird. It's like it's a zone. You could see his whole entire eyes go like this, and it's just like he's just focused on. He becomes another person, and it's just you're on defense then. Because you can't fight with him because it's like
that's just going to further incite him.
It's you'll lose.
Yeah,
every time.
But I'm sure there's some of your son's capabilities that are extremely beautiful.
100%.
All right, what do you think you could point out? That's your favorite aspect of his life.
My favorite aspect of his life is that he is one of the most interesting people I've ever met. In my
You
entire
should do
life.
the commercials for Dos Equis.
It's unbelievable how sweet he is, and how unbelievably methodical he is in his own way. It's not a methodical of like a scientist or like a, whatever, but he's very methodical on certain things. And it just blows me away. I mean, there's tons of times I'm just laughing my balls off because he's just doing these things, especially when he knows I'm pissed. Oh, it is the best.
He knows how to push your buttons.
Oh, when he knows I'm pissed, I don't yell, I don't scream. Just get the eyes. Just the eyes.
The dad eyes.
The dad eyes. The same thing my father did to me, which scared the shit out of me all the time. The low voice, not yelling, because when you yell, that's the aggressive, and you're meeting aggressive. You're throwing aggression, and you're meeting aggression too. Yeah. The calmness and the dead eyes, like the dead snake eyes, right? Just calming that down, and I can get the shit kicked out of me 100%. And I have, like Lenore and I have lost tons of hair, having our hair pulled, but
you got to start having a haircut like this.
Yeah, no, it just
or like this.
It just gets to a point, and it's just that's how you have to kind of diffuse it. And even that, to me, is amazing to me. It's amazing to me that he can control that to a level of pure psychotic rage down to gone.
Yeah, and it's like you said, like a snap of the fingers.
Yeah, he
goes from up here to down here, and
it's not like a bipolar thing. It's not this. It's just that the switch went off.
The moment is over.
Gone.
I saw a video on your Instagram at the real Derek Taylor, which we're going to talk about in a minute because
okay.
I did my Instagram after you. You have your son.
I told you when I made mine up, I was going to put the fake Derek Taylor.
I am real Kevin Donaldson for you because I'm like, that sounds pretty cool. You had your son, I guess it was in a Lowe's or Home Depot or something.
Yeah,
you were looking at Halloween decorations. Oh, yeah. And this is what I found most beautiful. The look of absolute wonder. You bring your kids into a Halloween store or a Christmas store, whatever holiday it is, and the absolute wonder. And as you get older, that wonder's gone. But that's what I saw in young Derek's eyes. It's that wonder, and he's pointing to everything. He's looking at you like, Dad, you believe this shit?
The other thing, like what you were saying to me before, is about one thing that I love about that is that he will never, ever stop believing in Santa Claus.
What do you mean?
But like when he sees all of that stuff, and trust me, bringing him to Home Depot this time of year is easy. Okay? When I was building the shed and I had to drag him there all the time to pick up 2x4s, it was like, Dad, really? Like, come on. But, it is. It's this, this,
the wonder is I love it.
But that's that's the 6-year-old mentality.
100%.
Bring a 6-year-old to Home Depot and see the holiday decorations. They're going to go nuts over it.
That's amazing to
yeah.
me.
You
got to bring them to the Grand Saloon. That's what you got to do. Unbelievable food. I'm getting Nick to put Spam on the menu. You got to come. Spam is a delicacy. Are you kidding me? Spam is a delicacy. So
I tell you all the time, he likes meat in a can. So that's why I bring
Grand Saloon's one of our sponsors, 940 Van Houten Avenue in Clifton. You got to bring Derek there because does he like real good food? He likes going out to eat, good times.
No, Derek hates to eat.
How about Big Derek? Does Big Derek like to eat?
Yeah. But that's one thing too, which is really funny is he is not in any way, shape, or form a picky eater. Anything. You could feed him anything. And I'm telling you, which is a blessing because you don't have like, I don't want chicken. What are you making, Dad? I don't want that. I'm telling you this, I could take a bowl, put cornflakes in it, lima beans, Doritos,
do the 1 chip challenge with him.
Chocolate chips, I could put all this stuff, Chinese food, cut up a pizza, little burger, some pasta, put all of that in a bowl, put it right in front of him. He would eat every
Nick,
single
get
thing.
that on the menu for the Grand Salute. I like it. We'll call it the Derek Jr. special.
But that's a blessing.
Yeah,
That is an absolute blessing. And
that's a beautiful thing right
oh
there.
my gosh, it is so easy. It's like
It's easy to shop for. Go food shopping for.
100%.
What's on sale?
What are you gonna get
Yeah.
for the kid?
See, like when I cook in the house is I'm not a big leftovers guy. So if I make something, I'm not really like the next day. But
Give the human garbage disposal.
Yeah.
He'll eat anything.
It's unbelievable. He will eat anything. It is unbelievable.
Well,
He'll even take a pickle. He'll take one of those disgusting, vile things, and he'll put it in his mouth, and he will chew it and swallow it.
Oh,
you don't like pickles? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
think
Next.
I'm gonna rethink this special needs thing because
I think one of
not
our
liking-
sponsors are in a pickle.
I know, not liking pickles. That's pretty.
Next. No, I don't want to get down that road. No, I do not. I do not.
Do you reach out to parents of other parents who also have children with special needs to
Not
try to
really.
walk them through? Because you got a lot of experience right now.
I don't really kind of associate with any of the parents.
Probably
know-
scared of you.
Well, maybe.
No,
You
but
know-
like you said before, each one is individual.
Yeah.
Who are you to preach to someone else about how to raise their kids?
I don't think it's a matter of preaching. It's a matter of
Well, you can
You know,
teach them
like
patience.
Turbo. Turbo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So, it's almost like Turbo's mom. Great woman. God bless her.
Yeah.
I mean, she is
She's got two of them, right? Two.
hammered
Yeah.
with two of them.
Wow.
Muscular, both of them with MS.
Yeah.
Both wheelchair,
Both wheelchair
combined. them.
bound, and
Yeah.
makes it happen, and does what? Warrior.
Oh yeah. yeah.
Warrior. Much respect.
And listen, I've only seen her at shows. Never did I once not see her with a smile on her face.
She has, again, she realized way back when, this is it.
Yeah.
this is. I could run, but I'm not going to. You know what I mean? This is my path.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's like with Turbo, it's it's different. She's got a different set of things. They're kind of common. It's kind of like a semi-even foundation where we are, but she doesn't deal with what we deal with, and we don't deal with what she has to deal with. So it's kind of like.
But the fact that you're conscious enough to realize that every child is different is something to teach somebody.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just that everything is individual with special needs. Everything.
But I think you might understand that more if with a special needs child.
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about.
Then like I don't know, a normal child, whatever a normal child is, But I think that maybe I don't know. I never kind of really thought of it that way.
You have a particular set of skills that, yes, Derek has different needs than Turbo.
Can I actually, you just said that I have a particular set of skills.
Yes.
I have a particular set of skills.
Exactly. Exactly. I stole
And
it
I
straight
know
from
how to-
Taken.
Guitar playing isn't one of them.
I will. I will.
Hey,
Sorry.
I'm not arguing with you.
I will find you.
I will find you.
But your
and I will kill you.
your patience level, your ability to change and adapt, because think about when you first found out about Derek, and if somebody were there and say, "Hey, look, this is what it's gonna be a long road. Things are gonna change. I can't tell you exactly what's gonna happen in the future, but you got to be ready for it. You will adjust. You will be okay. Stick it out. It's worth it."
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not. I'm Derek's greatest father. I'm not the world's greatest father.
You're a Dadstar.
I mean,
You're not a rock star.
I mean, part of this path was, you're not given the book. You study the book, and here you go. You're an expert.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's steps. I've made tons of mistakes that I said to myself, man, I should have done it that way. I should have done it this way.
You learn from your mistakes too.
You have
You
to.
One question I had is you were talking about Derek is very routine based.
Yes, very.
What happened? He was going to school before the pandemic hit, correct?
Yes.
And he couldn't go to school anymore. How was that?
It wasn't really as bad as I thought. he to be honest with you, I think that he was going there 5 days a week. Okay. And he was in the adult program. In the adult program, he's in a room with a bunch of other kids, adults that are, different ages. And they it's almost like corralling them in an area for a day, giving them some crafts to do and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I think at a certain point, doing that 5 days a week was getting to him, because we were getting calls every other couple of days that he was complaining of a headache. He wanted to come home and this and that. And it was just like kind of strange, because he loved going to the program and seeing he's a rock star there. He's been going there ever since he was a little kid, since they opened the building. He's been going there for 20 something years. So we realized that something was up. It was like, so when the pandemic hit and they closed everything, I was like, oh my God, he is going to go out of his mind. Nope. He was perfectly fine with all this stuff. Very, very simple. Very, very simple kid. Nothing more that he likes to do than to
go on his iPad,
sit in his room, in his chair or on his bed, with his little iPad, with his TV on, and just watch Barney videos or Santa videos all day long. Get up, have some lunch, maybe go to the store with me and Lenore and, do whatever. And then come back home, get on his iPad. Very simple. That's all he wants.
It's funny. I stopped down at Derek's house a couple months ago. It was over the summer sometime. Derek didn't even get out of his bed. He sat there and he's going, Derek, Mike's here. And he's going, hi.
Yeah.
You better
hi.
You better thank your lucky stars that you have Lenore at home to help you out. To help you out.
100%. Yep.
Because it does take, it sounds like a lot to take on for anybody. And then a touring musician. Now, of everything that Derek does and has done in 33 years of his life, I'm sure he's taught you some lessons.
100%.
What do you think his greatest lesson he ever taught you?
Love.
I was going to say love. That was the first words out of my mouth.
Unconditional love for another human being. And meaning my son, obviously,
but that's unconditional love. That's unconditional love that goes both ways. Your love for your son and your son's love for you.
Yes, it's different. It's that. See, like when I was growing up, again, I had, was an only child. I really didn't understand what family was. Finding out that I was adopted. I'd go to my father's sister's house, and it was like, oh, this is your Aunt Claire. It's not really. It's some lady that was related to my dad. It's not really my aunt. I don't have any brothers or sisters or cousins. Or it was like really weird. So, and realizing at that one point when Derek was just young is like, this is mine.
Nobody can take that away from
this is mine. This is
mine.
This is mine. Yeah.
Not much more you could say.
And I think it was just,
Well, throughout this episode, with your permission, we're going to put at least one or two pictures up of Derek. I want everybody to see how great a kid, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
I gave him pictures.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, they're only good pictures. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Not like the picture of him holding up the Cowboy Suck sign.
Yeah. The who?
Yeah, I did see that picture. Cowboys suck, and I have to agree totally with him.
Well, it's funny, talking about, what it's like to watch him all the time. When Overkill went on tour, Derek asked me and my friend Mitch if we could watch little Derek for the weekend. The hardest thing was getting him in and out of the Giant stuff we put on him, the Steelers stuff we put on him, the Flyer stuff we put on him. We put him in all different types of uniforms.
So basically, let's be honest here. Mike and Mitch had a toy to play with, a human being.
They made a Pretty Woman dress-up montage with your son.
Yeah, they did.
That's
and
we were sending them pictures,
and I got pictures, and I was like,
Derek, you really need to choose your friends a little bit wiser.
Yeah, no, I know.
But in the long run, that cost Mitch a lot of money.
Yeah, it did.
Derek took the iPad and they forgot to turn the parental controls off, and he still forgot ordering stuff. Mitch keeps getting blings on his phone, and Derek's ordering it.
It's like if you're gonna lie down with dogs, you're gonna wake up with fleas.
This is true.
If I drop my son off with the two most irresponsible human beings on the face of the planet, this is what you get. I mean, I got the first picture. I'm going. There's nothing I can say.
It's kind of one of those where you look at it and go, yeah, that's about right.
Well, listen, he's learned to expect nothing less from me.
Now, do you got anything you want to throw out there? Any plugs, social media? Where are you going to be?
No, I'm going to be probably on my couch or in my shop building something or smoking meats or doing whatever. No, I mean,
I got a plug
my
for
social media, I could really care less about that.
Well, you got to go at the real Derek Taylor.
Yeah, I don't really care. I mean, I check it every once in a while, and it's like I just could care less about social media. I really could. I'm sorry, everybody.
How about we do this plug? You see, you got a lot of ink. Where to get your ink from?
Oh, all over. Raven did a couple of my tattoos.
Does Raven have does she do it out of a store now, or
a Destiny tattoo?
You got to get Raven on the phone with us. We get her in here and we'll talk because there's a lot of suffering involved in tattoo artists.
Yeah, she's not really a big talker. She's not. She's very, very quiet. She's a very shy person.
Well, we'll put it this way: if we bring Raven's mother in, the mother could do all the talking.
Why don't we get a live tattoo on the Suffering Podcast?
There you
go. I got some dry canvas.
You could totally bring Lenore in, and she could have a discussion with both of you. Yes, she could.
Why don't you plug Raven's store? Tell us where it is. And
it's Destiny Tattoo in South Amboy.
Derek, I can't thank you enough for coming back in here because we're coming to the end of this thing.
Oh, man, it's always a pleasure seeing you, man.
And I'm going to ask you the same question I asked you the first time you were in. Derek Jr., 33 years old, has taught you a lot, both good and bad. Mm-hmm. What do you think? What do you think the suffering of taking care of somebody with special needs has taught you?
That's a tough question because I don't think it's suffering. I don't at all.
That's the right answer right there.
It's the opposite of suffering. I mean, if it was suffering, I wouldn't be doing it. I wouldn't be his father. I wouldn't be, doing what I do for him. I would be probably doing something else. So,
I think it's me personally, the way I see it from the outside looking in. It's all that stuff that some people would see as negative and some people would see as difficult and bad that has really made you a true Dadstar. And that's how I see it.
Lenore helps out a lot, too.
Yes,
and,
yes.
Owe her a
Charlie
lot.
Pups.
And Charlie Pups, too.
Requiem.
Yeah. So follow at Charlie Pups on Instagram.
And like I said, Derek, you know how much I love you, man. You are one of the best people I know. He's, like I said, he is a Dadstar. And he's a friend star, too.
You just had Mike profess his love to you, and you're going to let him over your house? Oof.
Sure.
Oof.
I have a birthday room.
I went to a barbecue at his house one time too, but that's for another episode.
He did. You were at my house for
10 minutes,
13 and a half minutes, and then you followed an ambulance.
Then
away.
I had to go to the hospital.
Oh, that's the motorcycle incident.
Yeah, we won't get into that.
That's another episode.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Anytime you're always welcome in this studio, and also throw it out when you're going out on tour. We'll throw those dates out. Tell Derek, say thank you for lending us his dad for a couple hours.
And tell Lenore we said thanks also.
Yes,
absolutely.
Tell Lenore not to hate me for taking 2 hours at a time. And that's going to do it for this episode of the Suffering Podcast. As always, we talk about what we learned. Family is a career. We should all be so lucky to live in the moment. The wonder of a child is amazing, but most importantly, be a Dadstar. That's going to do it for this episode of the Suffering Podcast. Don't forget, you can listen before you watch. All our episodes air on audio on Sunday mornings. Follow Mike on Instagram at Mike_Failace. Follow me at Real Kevin Donaldson. And, of course, follow the Suffering Podcast. We're going to see you on the next episode of Suffering Podcast.